Hello, everyone. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Film Biz Show, the only podcast where we delve into industry professionals' minds to get their insights on the current landscape of the film and television business, both in South Africa and internationally. My name is Marcus Mabusela, and I've got my co-pilot, my producer, Judith Kamanga. Please subscribe, like, comment, and turn on the notification button so you are aware of our future episodes that you will love so much. Now, today we're driving into a thrilling episode where we talk about advocating for the artists through the legal system. Our guest is someone who looks out for us and makes sure our legal needs are met all the time. Please, ladies and gentlemen, help us welcome Refuwe Thubela. Welcome, brother.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Marcus, and your team for inviting me today. I'm thrilled to be here, and I hope that, rather look forward to engaging with you and educating the people in the entertainment space.
Thank you, brother. Please let us know, Lassa, when did it start? What was the vision? And how come you decided to start such a daunting organization?
Well, Lawyers for the Arts, South Africa is what it's formally known as, but we keep it short. Ribita Lassa. I'd hate to take the credit saying that I started it, but just to take you maybe 2-3 steps back on where it all began. So it started, well, rather its inception, or the idea behind it came from our current CEO, Lerato Moloi. She's actually a film producer by profession, and the whole idea came behind her, being severely aggrieved by the industry. So she was not paid by a certain production company. I'd hate to mention the name, but it's quite a profound one.
Can I say, I was working on that project.
Were you?
It was my first time on screen, and I was working with Lerato. So I know this intimately, but yes, you may continue.
And I believe that's where it all began. So what she then did thereafter, as any, normal person would do, was to try and obviously, get some sort of recourse. So she went to court, went to the labor court to be specific, and she was basically told that, her claim doesn't fall within the ambit of, what any normal employed person would, get recourse from through the CCMA. And she tried then to exhaust her claim for recourse through the courts, but ran out of money, before she could even get far. And that's essentially where I suppose, the idea stemmed from. Just to fast forward from that incident, she then pursued her LLB, which is a professional law degree. But I suppose she couldn't wait until her actually being qualified. So what then she did, she pulled in a few, of her colleagues. One is also in the film space. Her name is Tandai, and the other guy is an economist, right? So that's the team. Those are the founders. And then from there, so this was in 2020, in fact. And then from there, certain other people came on board, attorneys, other guys who are in different fields. And then fast forward later, where we are, whereby I'm currently chairing the board. We've got a board member of about 12 individuals, brilliant minds, who are doing all sorts of things. Some are in the entertainment industry, well known. Others are professionals who, aren't necessarily in the limelight, but see the need to advocate for the rights of artists, which I'm obviously here to talk about much more in depth today.
Oh, wonderful, man. Wonderful. I think it's a beautiful initiative that you guys started. And obviously, we are having a lot of issues within our industry of a lot of disgruntled, workers who are unable to get their pay, a lot of IP being stolen from artists. I mean, the list goes on. And that's why you see so many suicide and, alcohol abuse cases and drug abuse cases that's happening within our space because of the depression and the sense of loneliness in which artists are going through. But if you just can give me an idea of what Lawyers for the Arts South Africa actually tangibly offers to the artists. What are some of the services and the products that you guys have put together for us?
Yeah, of course, definitely. So maybe to start with the most, I think, attractive traits or benefits, for lack of a better word, of Lassa is that we are a non-profit company. So for those who perhaps don't know what that means, is that we don't well, rather we don't take any form of monetary gain in exchange for our services, right? So what we then looking to offer is to firstly offer IP advisory services, right? IP is broad, so from your copyrights, patenting, trademarks. So we offer those services. Here's a young lad who's an artist, and when I mean artist, I'm talking about, across the board. Whether you're an actress, actor, I don't know, a
Sculptor.
presenter, sculptor, painter, man. As long as you are a freelancer and unprotected by the current legislation, which I think it's long overdue that nothing has been done, just from that space to just change the whole climate of the industry. We try and assist you, right? So we start in there, and then we also obviously assist in I call it the death trap in helping them better understand the contractual agreements with various stakeholders that one, you're either about to enter into a contract with, or two, perhaps you're at a stage where you want to renegotiate. You feel like you're in a much more better, I guess, position from a bargaining sense of view. We can help you at least leverage better agreements for yourselves. Because at the end of the day, this is still a business. So we don't necessarily saying walk away and own all your royalties and rights, but we're just trying to educate people better for them to really understand, what it is that they're dealing with, so that they can, commercially, exploit their talents, which a lot of the times they don't. The stakeholders who come on board and either want to, employ them or enter into a partnership with them, a lot of the times, walk away with the better end of the deal. So that's what we do. But not just that, there's another wing of the company that we are carefully trying to establish, and that's the business development side. Because of not all artists are naive or don't understand, the intellectual property rights. So what we're now trying to do, we're trying to assist creatives in one, developing proper business plans, business proposals, helping them with other key fundamental, skills that they need to know, such as understanding, the tax obligations much better. Because, creatives or rather independent contractors get charged a lot of tax. Purely because of they are independent contractors, so a lot of the times they don't get the normal, they don't get rather taxed as according to like the normal thresholds. So that will also allow you to better I guess strategize or strategically position your business. Another thing we're trying to do, we're trying to also tap into the branding space, just so that you can allow you to also better position yourself and align yourself. Not so much that we're trying to become more of like an agency, but we're trying to equip you as an individual alone so that you don't necessarily need to, have a lot of people that you employ. You can just become a small startup, at least knowing 50 or 60% of the key fundamental skills that are needed to at least thrive in the industry. So yeah, that's what I can say Lassa is about, for now. Yeah.
It's really powerful, man. I mean, if there's something one has always struggled to understand is why this concept of freelancers. Why do we get taxed so much money?
Yeah.
25% is a heck of a lot of money.
It's a lot.
And you still find producers trying to swindle creatives out of the little in which they're able to make. So I mean, really, 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 I want to take my hat off to you guys for the work that you're doing. But why pro bono? Why aren't you charging? And how will you guys be able to make your money if you're giving us free services?
Of course. Oh, and yes, Marcus, while we're still on the tax issue, right? Another thing that we've realized as Lassa, why it's important to educate people, or rather artists, on that aspect is that I think we've seen too many times where, artists 5-6 years down the line after they've actually got in the industry, you read articles that SARS is after them. It's exactly for those things whereby because they're not well equipped, right? And I don't want to obviously come here and say that it's designed by purpose, but for me, I don't understand why in this day and age that these things are still happening. Because I don't want to say that artists are naive, but I also blame the entities that manage them, that claim to have their best interests of heart. They clearly not, because of, I mean, if you getting a young talent and you claim that you want to manage them, then managing should actually also involve every other aspect of their career, because all these things are connected, right? So that's why you see then artists 10 after 10, 15 years when now when they should actually be enjoying their wealth from their work, their creative works, they end up either paying off SARS now. I mean, rest in peace to Keenan Forbes. But before he passed away, I think he had a tax bill of about 5 million that he had to settle. Casper Nyovest at some point had a tax bill of about 3 million he had to settle. Bonang Mateba, these are just top of mind. So many other artists. Zahara, rest in peace to her as well. She had a tax bill that she had to. So why are these things still happening? So that's also why we saw a gap there and we decided to tap in.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's powerful, man. I mean, and also something that we usually don't touch is artist estates. I was listening on the radio a month or two ago, and they were talking about the estate of the late Lebo Matosa.
Yes.
And how everything is just everywhere.
Yes.
No one knows what's going on. Anyone is just using the artist's music. And, it just took one brave lawyer, one brave attorney to say, okay, let me consolidate everything. Let me put it into one solid estate. Yep. And he found out there were millions upon millions which were owed to her. So I'm thinking, how many instances did this happen in terms of also actors and actresses and writers, people who are actually creating some form of intellectual property within the space that we're in. And how come, are you guys trying to at least fill in that gap to say, at least when I die, there'll be some kind of consolidation of my royalties?
Absolutely. So hence why we were saying, for us, Lawyers for the Arts South Africa, won't just be about offering legal services. I mean, for now, it may appear like that because that's where the need is, right? Artists are obviously trying to resolve, their issues, their IP issues. They need IP advice, but once we've gotten to a point where we've consolidated in enough database, that's when now we need to tap into that other wing I was telling you about, the business development wing, because of that will then allow us to fully equipped artists. Because of issues of estates, issues of artists not being able to be in control of their creative works, is exactly because of one, they don't know how to do that. You'll notice that the entertainment industry now is a business. Just like any other business, there are key aspects that need to be, on lock, right? You've got the art in which the creative knows how to do, but then there is the financial management aspect of things. Then there's the wealth creation aspect of things. Then there's the branding aspect of things. All those things form part of the business. So that's where now you actually need to be clued up, because that's actually where artists get nailed. Because of stakeholders know very well that, I don't want to say artists only care about doing the art, but that's what they know best. I mean, for instance, if I'm in the legal space, if I know how to do legal very well, I'm not all clued up about I'm not all clued up about marketing, I'm not clued up about accounting. But if we're then able to create that hub whereby artists don't have to rely on an agency for everything, you come into a space like Law of the Arts, you equip yourself so that at least when you now start needing these stakeholders to leverage, not because they are, well, not because you need them to get you in the door. You already have those skills to get yourself to the door. You just need them to scale up.
Yeah.
But you understand, when we're now talking about wealth creation, you understand, how do I maximize over my IP? How do I leave generational wealth? And those are the type of advices that we try to give. Yes, at some point you'll give away some of your IP, some of your copyrights and license this and for distribution. But if you're then able to have some sort of business plan on when it's strategically wise to relinquish some of those rights here and there, it'll make sense. That's why it's important to not just be an artist. See yourself as a business, have a plan, have a 3, 5, 10-year plan, understand the different time periods of when to scale, and at that particular point, what kind of skills do you need? Do you need a team at that point whereby they work for you full time? Because of I was actually speaking to an artist I was advising the other day. I was saying to him that at some point he's gonna need to open a company, and he needs to employ his own team, not outsource it. Because if you then employ your own team, there's certain tax benefits that you can also now start claiming as well, because they form part of your operating costs. So these are the little nuggets and tricks that we're able to now help artists with, right? So yeah, that's the whole point. But if now the entertainment space continues the way it is, you'll see that more and more artists will actually, I hate to say it, but they'll die poor, or
Yeah.
they'll keep being exploited.
Yeah.
You look at Hollywood,
Yeah.
America. Those artists are trained very well, and some of them don't have, in fact, most don't have formal
No.
tertiary education. But the people who are managing them truly have their best interests of heart. I'm not saying they don't get exploited, but I'm seeing the majority of them are able to maximize very well. I don't see why South Africa should be any different. In fact, now is the perfect time to actually be able to skill yourself, because of the world is becoming small.
Yeah.
You're seeing Amapiano going global. When I was watching Netflix the other day, I'm seeing so many South Africans and South African producers now being on there. And the first thing that came to mind, I'm just like, yo, I hope this lady or this guy is actually coining it how you should, right? I'll never know because I'm not in those rooms negotiating. But if I was, I know exactly what I would say to him before we even got there. So that's why you need lawyers for the arts. South Africa.
All I want to say, man, you are so needed right now. You are so needed because there's so many, there's a perception now that streamers are in the space that there's money all around that's flowing. Writers are doing well, directors, producers, actors are doing well because streamers are in the fold. But in fact, it's bringing on other complex, things that we did not foresee before. So I just want to say that it's very important that this conversation continues even after this podcast. I want to talk about Bowman's.
Yes.
It's a big firm, and I know they're working with you guys in partnership. I want to understand what is the basis of that partnership? How does it work? And as we've mentioned before, this is pro bono work for the artists. So does it mean a giant like Bowman's is also doing this for free? Absolutely. And what are you guys gaining out of it anyway?
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
So for one, believe it or not, at the moment, purely social justice.
Wow.
I'm willing to bet my last.
Cheers
How much
to
do I
you,
have?
man.
$10.
Cheers
That's what I have
to
in my
you,
pocket.
man.
My glass is empty, but
Yes,
cheers to you, sir. I'm willing to bet my last $10. Mark my words, Bowman's is doing this for free. I'd actually like to give a shout out to a lady called Fatima. She's the head of departments at Bowman's. She took us on board, and everything that we've done so far with them has absolutely been for free because they bought into the vision, right? How did that happen? I must also just put my hats off to the founders as well. They really are doing a good job on the ground, trying to sell Lassa. Because to be quite honest, if it wasn't for these partnerships, well, specifically this partnership with Bowman's, I don't think we would have actually gotten where we are. To the point whereby there's an event coming up which we'll get into as to when and what is it about. But they also came on board and they are sponsoring almost everything from the venue to the catering, to the media coverage to some extent. I mean, I don't know if you would call it media because you're in the space, but to me,
Yes,
it is some sort of media. So what that partnership is about, firstly, the meeting happened and they basically just loved the idea. And just like myself, who before actually coming on board as the chair, upon hearing this, I could easily resonate with it because of, I think we all know someone close to our hearts that is a creative, that has been, badly been affected by the industry. You know, we all love music, we all love film. Whether you know those people personally or not, they play a big part of our life, and that's where the connection was. Now, what Bowman's is offering, or rather, what our partnership is about at the moment, is that they're a big corporate and commercial firm. So where they've been very helpful is through the contractual agreements. Some of these agreements that these artists encounter, some of them are very complex, to the point whereby a certain lawyer might overlook certain aspects of those. I mean, look, if you're going to, I don't want to mention names, but if you're going to get into partnership with like, a big recording label.
Let's say something like, who are the biggest rip-offs? Okay, let's not call it.
But yeah, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You need a serious lawyer that deals with day-to-day complex contractual agreements, and that's where they actually come in and they're helpful. So they've been quite helpful with streamlining those inquiries and making sure that the services, the free legal services that we offer these artists are of quality and of value. Because then again, you're giving a service, right? And as much as it's free or it's paid, it has to be a quality service. Because at the end of the day, we want to change lives, we want to make a difference. We don't want to advise you, and then the advice is defective. So where we need to utilize them, we do. And I also just want to thank them because they played a big part as well in helping us corporatize our entity. They've assisted in us in ensuring that we've got a solid MOI. So that's been something that has been invaluable. And they're also helping us with some other compliance aspects of our entity to ensure that it's fully compliant, so that we're also able to maximize, our organization, just from tax benefits, sponsorships, funding, those kind of things. So that's also where the relationship is beneficial to us.
It's powerful, man.
Yeah.
Powerful. Refuwe.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, artists are known for somehow being, for lack of a better word, some would say careless.
Yes.
Yes. And you put it right. It's not really careless. It's just that they do what they know best.
Precisely.
But usually you find that later on within an agreement, they really get caught off guard in terms of their taxes, or some of the fees have not been paid.
Yeah.
What are some of the steps that you were taking to mitigate that and make sure that from the very onset, artists are educated and they can avoid such fights whenever going into an agreement?
Yeah. So at the moment, so as I'm saying, like the business development wing is currently under construction. So we're also trying to package it right, because it's not something that you can also like tailor make it, because of, how can I put it, being in the creative space is quite broad. What I mean by that is that a DJ, I would like to think, and an actress have different needs. They may intertwine at some point, but their needs are quite different. So what we're now trying to do first is that we're trying to just make sure that from a business development point of view, once we've now gotten a proper database, and what do I mean by that? We're trying to just assist as many people, artists as possible, but getting in as many inquiries and seeing what the common problem areas are. What that will then allow us to do is that to have like some sort of, pilot business development model, right, for an artist, or rather maybe let me say for an actor / actress, for a DJ, for example, for a songwriter, right? That will then allow us to say, okay, from the moment you get your first paycheck, right, this is what we advise or recommend that you do, right? For instance, your tax is expected to be this much, so perhaps put this much away, right? Depending again on what you want out of your career, because we can't impose, right? We can only work on what you want to achieve. That's where we also advise for you to have a plan. It doesn't help being an artist, yet you don't have a plan. We can't have that plan for you. When you come to us, you sort of have to have certain ducks in a row, if that makes sense. So say you've got a 3-year plan. Your 3-year plan is to, I don't know, be a 5-figure artist, right? God willing. So we're able to say, okay, you're an artist now, here's your first big break. Before you even sign this, let's help you negotiate this contract, right? Considering where you are, where they found you, because again, it's the dynamics differ, right? If you believe this is the best deal that you can get, fair enough. then we can help you negotiate that. It's a 2-year deal, no problems, how much you're getting, cool. From the moment you get this, you must start knowing that now you're going to be liable for things like taxes. That's fine, we'll sort that out, we'll help you, better, manage that. But again, now, what do you want with your brand, right? Help us understand that better so that we can now also assist. Because remember, like I said, Lassa doesn't just have attorneys, right? It also has people who are in the industry. We've got other guys that are in the branding and PR space. That's when now we're also now tapping into our team and say, look, we've got this artist. They haven't yet maybe signed to a big label, but or maybe they're not really interested in going there. They want to sort of become more of like a serial entrepreneur or an entrepreneur. Maybe let me not get too technical. Then we're able to say, okay, how do we then get you from this point to the third year? How do you put money away when you open a company? What's the best way? What's the best way rather to create wealth? Do we then, open a trust? Do you then open a business? Do you own that? Does that make sense? How do we then diversify? Do you own real estate? Do you then rather may perhaps bargain for a better cut when it comes to your royalties? Perhaps, what makes sense for you? Then that way we're able then to better advise. So that also when you then negotiate your agreements at the end of the day, you are negotiating based on this plan. So that when you're in the rooms, you're not just negotiating to make it through to the end of the month, but you're treating yourself as a business, as an entity, so that you can, have a sustainable career at the end of the day. Because in this industry, you'll never be hot forever. At some point, those gigs will stop coming in. That's the direction that you should be taking. So those are the kind of issues that we are currently also trying to implement and trying to see how we can tailor make. But as I've been saying, currently we're also still a small baby. So these are the things that we'll be able to obviously implement properly once we've created that proper database. And I don't expect it to be now, to be next year, but it's happening as and when we get, the right kind of leads and hot leads that we want, inquiries that we've been, helping artists. We're able to now sort of package, this model so that it can work, right? So that's the short-term goal of Lassa. There's another bigger plan that we're hoping that we can achieve at some point, and that's to ultimately, create some sort of dispute resolution forum.
That would be very, very powerful.
Yeah, it may not necessarily be ours, but at least we can help start the conversation.
So by that, you mean something like a CCMA for artists?
Precisely.
That
because
would be
of,
so
again, it becomes problematic when the system itself isn't properly regulated. Because then we can do our bit to try and, sort out creatives, right? So that they structurally, I guess, from a business point of view, they are sound. But if they're working with a system that is flawed, it also becomes a bit of a, I guess, an unfair battle.
Yeah.
So in as much as we are trying to help artists, better manage their businesses, we also need to find a way to also formalize the industry. And that's the bigger battle that, we think we need to fight. Because of how is it that artists, as soon as there's a contractual dispute, the first place that they have to run to is the court. I mean, litigating is very expensive. I would know, trust me. Some of the, cases that I'm working on, personally, I don't think I could afford it if the rules were reversed. That's how expensive it is. I mean, lawyers charge per hour.
Sure.
A standard junior lawyer charges you probably 1.8.
Goodness.
That's before tax. Per hour. Right? So if you're gonna then have to then litigate over 40,000 rand, is it worth it?
It's not worth it.
That's why then artists end up walking away.
That's true.
And stakeholders know this. So they'll rather frustrate you knowing that at some point you're gonna stop calling, you're gonna stop threatening. Maybe at best you'll consult a lawyer, pay that consultation fee, maybe pay for a letter of demand. From there, if they don't react, you then have to go and litigate. Litigation is expensive. So why then can't there then be some sort of dispute resolution similar to the CCMA? I mean, soccer has that, and the industry, and for me and soccer, respectfully, are quite similar in how they operate. Why then is it that they have a DRC, which is a dispute resolution chamber, and the arts doesn't? Because it prevents exactly that if there's an issue, you just then take the matter there, an adjudication or an order, an award gets granted, and then you can enforce it as and when, depending on what the order is. You can even go as far as, attaching certain properties so that you can recoup your money back. But why must you then run straight to the courts? So again, the system is very flawed, and for me, partly I blame legislation as well. It's allowing, the bad guys to get away with murder, but this is the kind of, bargaining that we need to do just to make sure that, we don't just, fix the industry at minimal, but we're trying to just at least get, as far as we can.
Yeah.
So it's a battle that we're willing to fight, to be quite fair. Yeah.
Refuwe, I must tell you, you are, the perfect kind of guest that the Film Biz Show was created for, because we as creatives sat around the table and we were so frustrated with what's been happening within this business. And we thought we wanted to create a platform where we'd get like minds, professionals who are trying to also change and disrupt the landscape. So, I mean, as you're saying this, I get so many incidences are coming into mind where creatives were given the short end of the stick and just had to walk away.
Touches home.
They have no choice, no hope, So really, I'm hoping that this is something that can really go from strength to strength. But I know that, art sometimes gets a bit political,
Just like everything else.
You know what I mean? But I mean, what happens when an artist comes, with a case that's slightly political or that's, a bit complicated or controversial? Do you still jump in, or do you kind of just, let that slide? For instance, an artist is engaged with a political party and, there might be some strings there that are very difficult for him to untangle himself from. Do you still go in there and give, a good fight? Or are there some cases where you just feel like this is a bit too hot to handle?
Oh, man, absolutely. I mean, all cases will be different. And I think it would be unfair to walk into, this initiative that we're trying to do if you're going to pick and choose cases, right? I mean, look, we'll be honest. I mean, if maybe the cases are too big because of a resource point of view, that's a different reason as to why. But wouldn't just leave it at. That's why we've got, company. That's why we're in partnership with Bowman's.
Yes, sir.
You see, so the complexities, we've got the right ammunition behind us to advise, accordingly. But we assist everyone because of there's certain artists that have approached us and they are entangled in serious disputes with quite big companies, not yet resolved, but we're trying to get there, right? So but this is the kind of boundaries we need to push, because if you're just only going to now solve matters at surface level and you're not trying to get deep, then at some point the work will go unnoticed. So we have to go against the bad guys, and the bigger they are, I suppose it's good, because then it changes the status quo and just the trajectory and the attitude toward artists. Because I think how artists are perceived as in South Africa, with all due respect, is not good.
No.
They it's almost as if what they do isn't really important. And it shouldn't be like that. So we'll take every case in any case, which is also why we want to partner with the right brands, because we understand that the journey that we want to take, it's going to be difficult. There'll be probably be a lot of pushback because of the mess or the lack of formality within the space is allowing certain entities to benefit. So of course there'll be pushback, but I think with the right kind of support on the ground from the artists, getting the right people on our side who actually believe in us, I think we'll get there. Eventually we'll get there. It won't be an overnight kind of success, but at some point we'll get there.
Love it. A decade from now, 2034, what has Lassa changed in the South African art scene?
Yeah. I was actually speaking to one of the co-founders. I'm like, 10 years from now, when you just look at Lassa, and she said one thing. I mean, the plan first is to be national. So we want to have offices everywhere. Secondly, the plan is to be the go-to fixes of disputes within the entertainment space. Thirdly, perhaps if we might not have at least achieved to create a dispute resolution forum, at least have those talks. And when I mean those talks, I mean like have those talks with the powers that be, which is the politicians, parliament that actually makes these laws, But for us, for now, we are working towards being national, and that's the kind of scale we want to have, so that we can have the right kind of reach for now to address matters that are quite imminent, and those matters are the ones that entail creatives not being paid for whatever reason, creatives being subjected to long hours on set, creatives contracts not being honored, not necessarily from a monetary point of view, but other terms of engagement that have been agreed upon but all of a sudden are not being fulfilled. Going against record labels, and those are the kind of matters that we want to make sure that as and when they happen, we nip them in the bud, because of then I think it will start changing the whole dynamic. You start there, because then I think the whole attitude now will start changing. If they know that, okay, there's this organization called Lassa, that the moment you start messing around with artists, they jump on it. And they're well equipped. They've got the best IP lawyers. They've got the best tax lawyers. They've got the best, financial advisory consultants. They've got the best business developers. It's going to be hard not to take artists seriously, whether you like it or not. You'll start to I guess
Give them some respect.
Yeah. So that's the kind of radicalness that we're trying to have. Or rather, work towards. So for me, if we can achieve that, for me, that would be a bonus.
Love it, man. This is something that's much needed in our space, and definitely we will make sure that our colleagues and people that we know are definitely coming on board. But now we're getting into a lighter note. It's game time, but this time we're doing it slightly different, okay? It's me against you, all right?
Okay.
Don't worry. And
Don't come at me too hard.
yes, our producer, Juliet, will be asking the questions. So, Juliet, you may kick, yeah?
Okay, cool. All right, guys, so this game is not too hard. I'm just going to ask you a few questions. Just 5.
Yeah.
Just 5. Very random film art-related stuff. Okay, guys, are you ready? Whoever gets it right, put up your hand. I guess we'll do school vibes. Okay, question number 1. Which South African entertainment lawyer represented the late Nelson Mandela in negotiating the rights for his autobiography? A. George Bezos. B. John Hudson. Or C. Rajmara Vumalani. Okay, put up your hand first.
The last guy.
The last guy.
George
Wrong.
Mr. Hudson.
Wrong. You guys are not good at this game. Anyway.
All right.
Okay, next question. What was the top earning film in USA in 2020 before the pandemic? A. Sonic the Hedgehog. B. Bad Boys for Life. Or C. Wonder Woman 1989. Yes.
Has to be Bad Boys.
And you got it right. Bad Boys
Oh,
for
wow.
Life.
Dang.
Come on.
All right. This
You
is
know,
serious.
you know.
Come on.
Okay, question number 3. In South Africa, which law regulates the protection of intellectual property rights in the entertainment industry? Oh, I don't need to tell you the
Okay, yeah, please
No,
do.
you can tell
No,
us.
please. Okay, I got it. It's the Copyright Amendments Bill
of what year?
of the year.
To be fair, we don't even know the years.
Hey,
That's
come
too
on.
deep.
I was going to give you multiple choice and
Okay,
Marcus
please.
said no.
No, please give us multiple choice and we'll choose
He
which
said
year.
no.
We'll choose which.
Okay,
Oh
so
my God.
between the year, okay, which year is it? A, 1997, B, 1965, or C, 1978?
1978.
And you right.
Wow.
But I'll give you a point.
Yeah, but
also
he can
'cause
have
you
it. No,
jumped
he
the
can
gun,
have
You know what
I
I'm
guess,
saying?
and ruined the game for everyone.
Damn.
Okay, number 4. Ish, now I'm worried about these law questions because you guys are...
No,
Questionable.
good,
I don't know.
Okay, number 4. Who is the South African entertainment lawyer known for representing numerous local and international music artists, including Hugh Masekela and Miriam Makeba? A. Graham Gilfillan, B. Franz Humo, or C. Clive Plaskett? Sorry for that pronunciation for all those names.
No, don't worry. I got
You got it.
Boy Clive.
You wrong.
Oh.
He said that with so much conviction. I was like, he's dealing
And you
with
felt
me.
it.
Okay, let me
No
give
degree.
it. Please give me the list of names again.
It's A. Graham Gilfillian. Sorry, guys. And B. Franz Homo. The other one's wrong, obviously.
Gilfillian sounds cool. So
He sounds cool.
Sounds like I can call him Gilly.
And you're right.
I'm
Oh,
right
wow.
now.
Where am I going to get this name?
I told you.
Lawyer's
it's
instinct.
it's the lawyer energies that
You know
they're
what I'm
talking.
saying?
I guess.
Okay, last one. This one should be easy. And if Marcus gets this wrong, I'm judging.
Don't worry,
Because you asked
man.
this on the first episode of the Film Biz Show.
I got you, Jules. I got
This is a
you.
very easy question, okay?
Okay, cool.
Which South African film won the Academy Award for Best Foreign Language Film in 2006?
think I
A.
know this.
Yesterday, B. Tsotsi, and C. Sarafina.
I think I know this one.
Let me just give
Oh,
it to him.
okay.
Yeah?
2006
Yes.
Go for it.
has to be Tsotsi.
Yeah,
The time I live at
No,
Tsotsi. That's my favorite
I-
scene.
It is Tsotsi.
It is
I told
Tsotsi.
you.
I gave it to him. I wanted
Do you know that scene? The valid time at Tsotsi. My
Oh,
cousin
yeah.
I have the, you don't. Okay.
I
Well done.
personally don't even know who won.
That's one of the best movies that I've ever watched. Like top 10. Okay, maybe I should have said 5, but top 10.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right, and it deserved the Oscar. Thank you guys so much for playing the game. I
I won the
honestly
game.
think that our guest won, but I'm gonna have to count
I was being a gentleman. I gave it to
because
him.
now I had half points.
He's a nice guy.
but
He's a nice guy.
it was a good
Winners
game, guys.
know how to
Thank you so
win.
much.
That's why Lassa is the one. We winners.
So, lastly, brother, I mean, now that we just getting to the closing of our show, we want to know how can people engage with Lassa?
Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on perspective, our website is currently under construction. So we're just revamping that, trying to get that in order, trying to sort out the main important information. We also, think first to announce this, but we're trying to work on an app, mobile app, that is also under construction. But at the moment, we're on LinkedIn. So it's Lawyers for the Arts South Africa. That's mainly where we engage a lot. Or you can email us at info@lawyersforthearts, southafrica.org.za. So those are the main, I guess, forums where you can reach us. Alternatively, you can reach out to Lerato Moloi on LinkedIn as well. Or myself, Refuwe Thubela on LinkedIn. I'm sorry that LinkedIn is the main forum for now. It's just where we are, quite, I guess, responsive. But yeah, but for now, we'll announce soon once our website is up and running. Should be ready soon. Just minor things that we're still working on. But apart from that, LinkedIn, please, if you can just reach us there.
Fantastic. Any upcoming events? I know there's something in the works.
Yes,
Very
definitely.
exciting.
Very excited for this one. We're calling this our breakout event. It's our first proper, inaugural event. We're in partnership with big household names. So it's a legal workshop, to be more specific. We're in partnership with Bowman's. We also brought Adams and Adams on board. We also have Sensam Insurance on board as well. So those are the main sponsors. So we'll basically be educating artists, creatives, on various aspects that we feel are of fundamental importance in this industry. We'll be speaking about intellectual property. Adams and Adams are a leading firm in South Africa, for those who may not know. They're actually one of the best when it comes to intellectual property law. So they'll be doing a presentation on that and fully delving into the cracks of IP law and why it's important for creatives to understand these quite well. And then there'll be a presentation on contracts and the legalities of business. That will be presented by Bowman's. They're a leading corporate and commercial law firm. So, who best than them to give a presentation on that? So they'll ensure that, artists understand, just the fine print, what's important, what to look out for, because contracts are not all stock standard, but there are certain things walking into a contract that, you ought to know, because they most likely, ought to look or rather be familiar, right? And then Sansam will also be giving a presentation. They are a leading financial services and insurance company. They'll be speaking about financial literacy and just equipping creatives on that as well. So why we came up with that presentation, as I've mentioned, I think those are very fundamental skills that artists ought to know. And then moving forward, we're hoping that we can plan another one soon. I just don't want to confirm it now because we're still working on it. So this event will be on the 12th of June.
12th
I think
June.
it's next week. It starts at 9 o'clock in the morning, and it'll end at around about 9 o'clock. 4 o'clock, 4 p.m. My apologies. So it'll be held at Bowman's offices in Sandton, specifically at their auditorium. We're expecting about 125 guests. So we're fully booked out for now. But not to worry, there'll be more legal workshops that we're planning to run this year. So I think there's 1 or 2 more that be in the pipeline of just working on. So that's the big one, because I think this will set the tone, especially for those artists that are there. This will set the tone, just in terms of what we are trying to do, what we're about, and just the value that we believe that we bringing into the entertainment space. So we're very proud of that. The partnerships that we've managed to sort of come up with. So we're thoroughly very proud of that one.
Wonderful, man.
Yeah.
Refuwe, would like to thank you for joining us and really blessing us with your presence. We've learned so much about the legalities of this business, specifically in our specific context. It's film and television, and how one can find the legal assistance that's necessary to navigate this space. We really hope that your organization may grow from strength to strength.
Thank you, sir.
And you're able to change the lives of so many creatives.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I must just give a huge shout out to you guys. Truly speaking, these kind of platforms are very much needed. You guys are at the heart of this industry, and I truly value your time. Just bringing me out on behalf of Lassa as the chair. I know that they're also rooting for your show. I'm a fan. I started watching the last 2-3 episodes. Got a long way to catch up. You guys are pushing content for days. That's good though. So definitely, and thank you for the well wishes. So I hope that this won't be the last time that we come here. We look forward to coming after the event, just so that we keep everyone in the loop. But from our side as well, we're gonna also we've got plans on being out there more often. I know people don't quite know us yet. Those who do, not at the scale or the extent that we would like to be out there, but we are getting there. We've got
definitely. And to our audience members, just know that we'll be talking to you in the next coming weeks. And should you have any kind of legal issues in which you would like to share with us, any troubles that you might have gone through, please feel free to share in our comment section, and we'll try and advise you and link you up with Lassa as soon as we possibly